And hello, survivors. I'm your host, Get Good Fox, and welcome back to the Fox Talks podcast. This will be the 6th episode focusing on State of Decay 2, and what I want to talk about today are my initial thoughts about the new infestation changes that have come to the beta for State of Decay 2, which, remember, is exclusive to Steam. I'm calling it my initial thoughts because I have been streaming, and in the streams, I have destroyed 7 plague guards so far, so we're going to kind of exiting the beginning of the game, moving more into the mid-game, so I don't have a full understanding of it, but I feel like I've got the basic idea of how everything's gonna go. So if you want to catch those streams, remember you can find me live on Twitch at GetGoodFox, and if you miss them or if you don't like Twitch, you can go to youtube.com/@GetGoodFoxVods, where you can see all of the episodes there. So what we're going to be talking about is what is the new change to the infestations, what's wrong with it, how we can fix it, because, spoiler alert, I hate these changes, but let's go ahead and get into the episode. Alrighty, so this is not the first change to the infestations, and like I said, I do not like it, but first let me tell you what are the new changes. So, it's a continuation of what we had previously, and the way it works is it all starts with the plague hearts. Plague hearts now have a new status. They can either be dormant or awakened. Dormant means they're not aware of your presence, and awakened means they are aware of your presence. If they're dormant, they don't really do anything, but once they are awakened, and the way they can be awakened, there might be more, but these are the ways I've experienced, is if a screamer screams near a plague heart, it can awaken it. If you kill zombies in their plague territory, it can awaken it. If you kill other nearby plague guards, because sometimes they cluster together, the death of a plague guard will awaken other plague guards nearby. And of course, if you attack the plague guard that's dormant, that will awaken it as well. There might be other ways too. I don't know, maybe honking your horn can awaken them. I don't know, but those are the ones I know. So once the plague guard awakens, it will begin generating infestations. So the plague guard is the source of the infestations. These will appear as the force of basically like a reinforced infestation horde. It will consist of a screamer, 2 bloaters, several armored zombies, and a bunch of regular zombies. So they're not that soft of a target, and the armored zombies ensure they can't be burned, and while you can ignite the bloaters to blow them up, they are a bit of a pain. They're actually easier to deal with when they reach the building, because they will travel to a building to infest it, where they will then despawn and be converted into an infestation proper. Now, the proper infestation now includes a bloater in it. So the basic infestation is 1 screamer, some zombies, and a bloater. This actually makes them very easy to kill, so that's when you want to kill them, because you just have to pop the bloater and ignite it, and it's basically a bomb. It can just blow up the infestation right then and there. Now, from there, the awakened plague guard will then begin reinforcing that infestation. It will basically send convoys out where it can either upgrade an existing infestation to something even more powerful, and the more powerful infestations can be quite a bit stronger. They can include all manner of freaks, including juggernauts and ferals, or blood feral or all the blood variants on lethal zone, or they can spread to additional areas. One of them will be kind of designated as like the lead infestation. Admittedly, though, I'm not far enough into the game to see how the siege, the actual attack mechanic, occurs, and that's because the goal of this playthrough is basically to see how the game stands up to my existing tactics, and are my existing tactics good enough to just defeat this system altogether. But that's the basic idea of how it works. One other thing, though, before I switch to the next subject, is that in addition to killing the infestations the traditional way, you can intercept the infesting horde. If you knock it out before it gets there, it'll never become an infestation. You can, of course, kill the infestations. Remember, on the beta, you don't have to kill every zombie. You just have to kill the freaks, which, if you catch an infestation early, it's just going to be a screamer and a bloater. But another way they've done it is where if you kill the awakened plague heart that is controlling the infestations, after a few minutes, all of its infestations will disperse. And also keep in mind, every plague heart you awaken is capable of generating its own infestations, so they can crank up in a very out of control manner, which is going to lead us into the next subject. which is what is wrong with the new changes. And first off, they are highly aggressive. Now, I use the word aggressive instead of hard because they're not very hard to get rid of, but God, are they annoying. When I say they are aggressive, I'm talking about each stream is about 2 hours long. And in the previous update, within a 2-hour stream, I might deal with 1 or 2 infestations at the worst if I'm, trimming them out as soon as they appear. In my first stream, I got 6 infestations that I had to destroy. It is really, really annoying. It is not fun to constantly have to destroy them. Now, it does introduce a new mechanic that is supposed to help you mitigate it. So another new feature is that you can establish an outpost, and now you can pay resources to lure the zombies to the outpost. You can pay resources to have the outpost set up traps, kind of like State of Decay 1, and they will kill the zombies there. The zombies, or rather the outpost, also acts as a scouting device that will detect the infestations and the infestation hordes, because otherwise they will not appear on the map. The problem is that in State of Decay 1, it wasn't very expensive to activate the traps. On Lethal Zone, it is costing 75 parts, 3 ammo, and 2 fuel, and that's just for one of the outposts. So if you wanted to activate multiple outposts, you'd have to shell out the 75 parts, the 3 ammo, and the 2 fuel. And that's basically half of a rucksack each. 3 ammo is half of ammo rucksack, 2 fuel is half of a fuel rucksack, and 75 parts is almost the value of building your own toolkit for repairing a car, and it is the value if you have the discount if you have an auto mechanic. So it is not cheap. It's expensive. And also keep in mind that all of the plague guards have a plague territory, so you might not even be able to claim a convenient outpost or an outpost that gives you a benefit that you want. And also keep in mind that you might be entering into kind of a town, so there could be a cluster of plague guards there. So even if you destroy one plague guard, the other overlapping fields of plague territory may still block you from establishing even more outposts, or any outpost that you want to begin with. You might have to settle for just a crappy outpost that is properly positioned, invest the influence to establish it, and then shell out all of the resources to activate its defenses. One thing I will say is that the outpost, they will kill any zombie that enters into the area, including juggernauts, including things that have nothing to do with the hordes or the infestations. So, anyways, what's wrong with it is you have this idea that they're very, very aggressive. They just pump out these infestations like they're a factory. It's very annoying. It's also not hard to deal with them, but it's annoying. You have to constantly stop what you're doing and destroy them, or the solution is to just throw a ton of resources at something that you previously didn't have to do. So it's purely a feel-bad moment. You are just spending resources that you didn't previously have to spend. You are spending more time than you previously had to spend, and that leads to the next issue, that there's no rewards. There's still no significant payout for clearing the infestations. And what it means is that they're just worse. They are worse than the previous update, and the previous update is worse than the original way the infestations work, because every single update to the infestations, all they do is give you more infestations for no reward, and all it does is grief the players. What makes them so annoying? Well, the plague guards are really easy to awaken unless you are literally going to sneak around. Even if you're driving, you have to be super careful. One screamer screams, bam, you could have your awakened plague guard. Oh, did you run over a few zombies on accident? Killing the zombies could awaken the plague guard. So if you want to keep all the plague guards dormant so you don't get infestations, you'll either have to just sneak literally everywhere, which is really annoying, and chances are it's just going to happen. It's possible, I haven't seen it yet, but you might awaken a plague guard because a screamer screams at one of your allies. not even at you, and that might awaken a plague heart. And once it's awake, well, let me tell you, don't even bother setting up an outpost to hold back the plague heart. It's a waste of resources. Like I said, it's a feel-bad moment. It's just going to machine gun these out, and now you're going to have to spend more time or more resources to deal with something that you didn't have to deal with before for no reward. So the answer is not to engage with the system. The answer is just to take this cancer and cut it out. The answer is the old saying that a good defense is a good offense, or the best defense is often a good offense. The way you deal with this system is just kill the plague guard. Kill all the awakened plague guards, and bam, no more infestations. And this is the main problem with it. State of Decay is an open world sandbox survival game. In other words, it's a survival game that isn't particularly scripted. It's not like Resident Evil where you're going on this definite path. The whole concept of State of Decay is that you survive the apocalypse your way. What this infestation update does is it says, no, you're not going to play the game your way. You're going to play the game our way. Otherwise, you're going to get harangued by just these factories of infestation producers, and if you try to ignore it, they're just going to spam them out, and it's going to get really annoying. It's not fun, and it forces you to play this particular way rather than being dropped into this zombie apocalypse and solving things your way, because once a plague heart awakens, you are highly incentivized to just kill it, and it really speeds up the game in the sense that you might as well just chunk these plague hearts down. Killing one plague heart probably awakens the next one, so now you got to kill that one, and that one awakens the third one. Now you got to kill that one, and before you're done, you've killed 5 or 6 plague hearts. And what it means is the way you want to tackle the game is you don't want to explore. Remember, exploring is bad. You accidentally drive near a screamer, it could awaken a plague heart, and what if you awakened plague guards in different sections of the map? Well, they're all going to start mass producing the infestations. So what you want to do now is forget about exploring. You're going to want to tackle the map section by section. First, you'll want to conquer the starting area. Then you'll want to move to a new base, into a new town, and kill all of the plague guards in that way so that when you do awaken them, you know where they're awakened. You know where the infestations are coming from. Forget about all of the exploring because you could awaken more of them and just cause the problem to spiral out of control. So it really limits the game. I think it's anti-sandbox. I think it is anti-State of Decay. I think it is purely, I don't think there's any good ideas here. I cannot say how much that I think that there are I don't think there's any, get rid of all of it. That's what I think should be done. I guess let's go ahead and move into the final section. Which will bring us to the final subject, what should be done? And what I think they should do is I think they just need to give up on this ideas. In fact, I think they just need to give up on trying to change the infestations altogether. Every single change to the infestations is worse. Yes, the original form of infestations is kind of basic. It's not particularly interesting. This is so much worse. I don't want it to be interesting. I go back to the boring. In fact, get rid of infestations altogether. I would not be sad to see infestations gone altogether. I know some of my detractors will tell me, oh, you just want the game to be easy. I assure you that the infestations, they don't play a relevant role in Lethal Zone's difficulty. If you got rid of infestations altogether, that would not be the thing that allows people who are not good at the game to beat the game. It would make the game a whole lot more fun, though, because infestations are not fun to destroy. They're not hard either, so they do not succeed in their objective of making the game harder. They succeed in making the game a pain to play. They make the game less fun. So ideally, I would hope that Undead Labs would be willing to turn away from this. I feel like they probably will not, but you guys have to tell them. If you don't like it, fill out the survey. Be firm. You don't have to be rude, but be firm. Tell them, very clearly that you don't like this. Tell them if you feel like this is going to push you out of the game and that the game is getting older, therefore you could easily play something else. Tell them that. That's what people are telling me. I've got over 1,200 people in my Discord, and I've had a lot of people tell me that they absolutely hate this update, and they are more than happy to play something else because it is such an anti-fun update. Now, if we wanted to keep the infestations, this is what I would do. We need rewards. Undead Labs is trying to make the game harder. The game doesn't need to be any harder. Difficulty is not the problem with State of Decay. The problem is fun, progression, and rewards. This is what Undead Labs should be focusing all their effort into. We need better progression, and we need better rewards. The game doesn't need to be any harder. So what I would do is, why don't you take your play guards and specialize them? Instead of having every play guard be the exact same thing, why don't you have a generic everyday play guard, kind of like the original ones before the Plague Territory update? Then you could have Plague Territory Hearts, the Plague Hearts that actually generate a Plague Territory effect. And then you could have a third type of Plague Heart, an Infestation Plague Heart, that awakens and generates the infestations and sends them to attack you. But because it is a Plague Heart, or a type of Plague Heart, when you kill it, it has goodies in it. And then on top of that, when you kill all of these, hypothetical Infestation Plague Hearts, the infestation would be gone together, and you would totally wipe that mechanic off of the map altogether. I think people would be so happy. I think that's something people really want. They don't want to manage infestations for the rest of the game. They want to maybe deal with them initially and then just have a way to get rid of them altogether, because they're not a fun game mechanic, and they're also not hard. I really want to emphasize that, because I'm constantly told that, oh, you're just trying to make the game easy. They're not hard. They're easy. They're just annoying. They're really just an anti-fun gameplay mechanic, because there is no reward tied onto them, and there's no way to get rid of them permanently, and these changes, they only make them worse. Anyways, though, let me know what you think down in the comment section. What do you think about these infestations? Do you like them? Do you dislike them? If you don't like them, remember, fill out the survey if you are on Steam in the beta, and tell them on Twitter, go to their developers, go to their streams, and just tell them, and be firm about it. Don't have some backbone. Just tell them you don't like it. Also, if you want to work on your tactics, because it might not matter what we say, the changes might come one way or another, tune into my streams at Twitch at GetGoodFox, because you will get to see how I am dealing with all of these new infestation changes. And if you don't like Twitch or you miss it, remember, you can subscribe to my other YouTube channel, youtube.com/@GetGoodFox. By the way, if you want to help out the Fox Republic for free, just subscribe to the VODs channel. I need to get it to 1,000 so that I can partner the channel with Google, and that would actually help me out a ton. Anyways, till next time, remember that you don't have to be good to get good.